All right, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miss Elise's Art House, where we integrate TEKS-aligned curriculum through creativity and connection in collaboration with our community. So what that looks like is we take the information we have learned and we connect with creators in our community to integrate it and practice it, right? So we connect with muralists, we connect with sound practitioners, we connect with film producers, all people who are in their practice and are sharing what they've learned with others. Okay? So this lesson is going to focus on art more specifically. Okay? So we're going to focus on fine art as the curriculum, and we'll integrate in ways of using our home space, our mentors at home, so our family, and also I'll integrate some really cool authors as our leaders and creators, and then of course our students will lead the way as well, okay? So this course is going to be 4 weeks. We're going to have 4 online practices via the videos, okay? And then if you're interested, you can join our online group where we actually collaborate and show what we have and get feedback. Really, really fun and important to collaborate with our creative peers, right? So we're going to use terms and use practices that are basically in the fine art world. The fine art world is using the elements and principles of design more specifically, okay? And we're going to do this through practice. So let's get started. When you take a class, even with me, right, and you come into the space is really already set up for you because the educator has set up the space so that you feel comfortable and you feel like you have access to the things that you need so you can get right into the flow of creating. However, with a virtual class, you have more autonomy and authority to create your own space. When we're creating our own space, I notice a few things come up. For me, I love creating spaces for others. That's probably the educator in me and the mother in me. But when it comes time to set up my space for my practice, I hit resistance. It's like boring or difficult, and then I end up finding frustration and not really working through it. And so sometimes my creation is messy because my emotion is kind of messy before I begin. And I found myself not creating as much for myself. And I think it's really important to do a practice if you're going to teach the practice. And so you're probably still in the practice mode, but many of you have become leaders. So it's going to be important to realize what comes up when you're creating the space for you, okay? Those of you who have signed up specifically for this class, I gave you those materials, and now you can bring out those materials, and we're going to set it up in a way that feels easy for you to access during our media sprint, which is what we'll start with in this lesson, okay? Those of you who are just working at home, have not registered for this class, and have just stumbled upon this, you are welcome to use anything you'd like in your home space. The important thing is going to be how we set it up so that we feel like we can access everything and really get into the flow of creating without having to be interrupted and thinking about what we need and where we need to get it. So let's determine the supplies that we're going to use for our very first practice, which will be a warm-up called a media sprint. Media, my students know as your art materials. What you use to create art, okay? How we use these materials is going to be called technique, okay? So we're gonna get out our media. For my students, let's go ahead and start with our watercolor, in which case you'll need 4 different types of brushes to get the different techniques. So your watercolor, at least 4 different brushes, and of course, water, right? I always tell my students not to fill it up past, there's a little line on your cup past that line just because we have wild elbows. And if we knock it over, it's not going to be a brilliant amount of water. It should still just be a little bit amount. Okay, and then go ahead and grab a paper towel. We'll also grab things like markers, crayons, if you have any oil pastel, colored pencils, and I think a pen or a black black micron pen, a black office pen, a black pen that you took from the dentist office. A pen would be really nice, I think, to start with what we're doing. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to allow you to take a breath, get your materials, take your time, set it up on a space that you don't have to worry about getting dirty. Okay, we have a really messy table out. I threw a cloth on it. I threw a cloth on the floor, and we're able to just create freely and make a mess. Grab at least 5 different materials. If you're at home, it doesn't matter what they are. Okay, if you're in my class, grab the supplies that I have given you and grab anything else that you'd like to work with. And yes, this does mean digital. If some of my friends want to work digital, I'm totally okay with that. We'll share it in the live classroom, okay? So I'm going to pause this. We're going to grab our supplies and I'll show you what ours look like. I have a bin of colored pencils for my space. I have a bin of markers for my space. I have a bin of oil, pastels. I have brushes, all different kinds of brushes. We'll speak more to this as time goes on. Okay, then get yourself some popcorn. We have watercolor. Yes, it's upside down. I have my handy dandy book. So go ahead and grab your books if you have something that inspires you, if you have something that brings ideas. I also have these for sale if you want something like this. I put it together on my own because being an artist, I could never quite find what I wanted, so I made it as I went along. Okay, there's my teacher space. Here's the kids' space. We got this. We got this. We got our creative table set up. We got this. We got this. We got a spill. We got this. We got this. We got this. They got their markers. They got their coloring book. We got more markers. And then we're also putting little guys on this ginormous map as we go along these very cold days. Okay, hopefully that was helpful, right? You saw a teacher set up. And then you got to see some contrast, which was how the children naturally and intuitively set up their materials that I gave them. Okay? So it can look either way. Now what you're going to want to ensure that you have, which I don't think I mentioned before, which is kind of funny, paper. Okay? You're going to want paper. So we're using copy paper right now. It's ink copy paper, so it's a little bit thicker than some of the other paper you'll get. But of course you can use a notebook. Of course you can use a composition book. You can use cardboard. You can use that piece of wood that was out front of your house that says welcome that you painted over and now you want to do something with. Don't use your house walls unless it's open for that kind of creativity. You can use a whiteboard. You can use a window where you go and then you draw on it, right? For the purpose of our class, you're going to want it to be something permanent, something that you can look at, something that you can refer to, because learning kind of happens in a process, and it's nice to look back and be able to see, kind of grab what you were thinking, not what we think we were thinking, okay? But if you're not in this class, anything will work, okay? So my kiddos, I want you to grab some paper. I literally took the paper and I put it landscape, not portrait, landscape, and I folded it like a hamburger, okay? And this is what I'm going to use. If you want a more do-it-yourself sketchbook with a hardcover, something you can paint and decorate and even add new pages in, more pages in, different pages in, like watercolor paper, then I will put a link to my other YouTube video that shows you how to do that. But for the purpose of saving time and just getting to what we're doing today, I'm just folding it and then I'm going to clip it. You could also put a rubber band around it and then that won't make the stitch so permanent. I'm just putting it along the seam. I'm going to put 2, okay? But 3 might actually bind it and keep it from warping in the middle, so fine. I'll put 3, okay? There you go, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, okay? So now if you want, we could start on the cover, but I think I'm going to start in the middle just because I'm working intuitively in a media sprint and I don't quite have an idea of what I want to do yet, so I don't know that I want that to be on the cover because again, I work very emotionally, and if I see something on the cover that I don't like, every time it'll be like, when I open it. So that's, those are true artist emotions that I'm working through. Okay, so let's get to our materials. I'm going to open up with an author Her name is Elise Gravel. I did not get it because her name is the same as my name, but I got it because I loved the cover. And so I'm going to kind of open it up and I'm going to read a bit about her characters, okay? And while I'm reading about her characters, I want you to start drawing or painting or doodling with the first medium you have in front of you. So at this point, we should have like 5 different mediums. I'm going to go ahead and grab just a pen for me. So if you want to start with a pen as well, that's fine. And we're just going to start doodling, okay? While we're doodling, I'm going to go into techniques and I'm going to go into some of the different things we're using, but I find it more useful, believe it or not, to talk about some of the instruction and talk about the techniques while the kids are already creating, and then implementing it as they hit points where they need more. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so go ahead and grab what you're gonna work on, grab something you're gonna work with, and let's get started. All right, my dears, here we go. Okay, if found, please return to Elise Gravel. I have my pen, I have my paper. I like it. We're already creating over here, so we're already finding our rhythm. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit in the beginning while you start creating, okay? And when you're creating, you're just doing a warm-up, okay? Draw lines. Line is the very first element in design, okay? A line meets a line to make a shape. Start there. If you don't want to start anywhere, or if you're having trouble starting, just start with a line, literally, okay? So at night when my daughters are asleep, I draw on my black notebook. I draw complete nonsense, which is kind of what we're doing today. Whatever comes to mind with markers, gouache, watercolor, lead pencils, or just ordinary pens. Even sometimes I'll draw with my kids' pencils, right? You draw with what's there. When I draw on my black notebook, it feels good. It's as if I let out all the ideas that are bouncing around in my head, ridiculous ideas, crazy ideas, bizarre ideas. I never critique the drawings in my black notebook. I give myself the right to fail, to mess up, and to create, dare I say it, ugly drawings. I'm kind to myself in my notebook, and I do what I want. In the morning, my daughters come peek at the new drawings, and they laugh. And sometimes they even give me new ideas. Okay, so that's the point of community. And if you're at home, then it's your at-home community. Okay? So these are some of her creatures, and you start to really notice her style. We keep seeing these little long noses, and since I've been looking at this, I've been dreaming of these weird creatures with these long noses. We even play a game. My students are aware of this. It's called the Exquisite Corpse, and they kind of end up looking like these, and then we riff off of them. And so she kind of does that without having to play the creative games. All right, so here's some of her drawings. And I'm going to read, and while I read, I want you to create your own creatures, okay? These are the creatures that live in your head. They don't have to be figures. It could be a fridge, could be an object. It could be a landscape that's come alive, personified. It can be whatever comes to mind. It's like our scribble project. We're going to take something and we're going to turn it into something else, okay? So if you're already drawing, great. If you haven't drawn yet, let's start with a scribble, okay? If you haven't drawn yet, start with a scribble. If you have drawn, keep drawing, okay? We're going to go into a forest. Those of you who can't figure out what to draw, let's go ahead and do a scribble. Get your drawing material. Put it on your page, and I want you to start drawing a line now. Don't stop. Don't pick up your pen. Don't stop. Don't pick up your pen. Draw the line, draw the line, draw the line. Ensure you're getting a lot of space. We don't want it to be too small of a line. Draw, 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 draw. Stop. Okay? You should have a scribble. This is the scribble project. We're going to turn it into something else, okay? Those of you who are drawing, keep drawing. Those of you who didn't know what to do, now you have a scribble. Let's start there. So we're all going to walk into a forest, okay? When I say forest, we should all be coming up with ideas already of what that means to us. Some of us are very visual. Some of us aren't. We lead with different sensations. Wherever that's going for you is perfect. All right, so we are in the caves of the forest near my cottage. There's lots of caves. And in these caves, I think there are bears. I think there are bears. So now if you're getting ideas, I kind of want you to start drawing a bear, okay? How does a bear start? Starts with a line. Can I turn this into a bear? Absolutely. I kind of already see the nose, right? A bear. Let's start drawing our bear. I haven't seen any, but I know there are bears, okay? There's at least one because my daughter saw a bear poo on the path, okay? She saw poop. She saw bear poop on the path. So we know there's a bear, even though we've never seen it. And it was as big as your shoes, okay? And it had blueberries in them, okay? So now we're using all these beautiful visual clues that are igniting these emotions and creating more. So what does this bear look like that creates these ginormous poos with blueberries in them? What does it look like? Let's draw it, okay? In my head, I call this bear that I've never seen Bubba. Titling your artwork is really funny and sometimes really scary and feels very permanent for somebody who loves freedom. But I'm going to title my bear as well. And my bear is still just a scribble, mind you. And I'm going to title it Boo-Berry. 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 I'm a boo-berry. I'm a beep box and boo-berry. This bear, he enjoys mushrooms and hunting. So now we're kind of getting into the content, what's inside, right? This bear likes mushrooms and he likes hunting. It's kind of cute, maybe kind of fierce. How do we make something kind of cute and kind of fierce? I'm thinking like sharp teeth. And then I'm also thinking like real big doughy eyes, because I feel like humans always have a reaction to like really sweet little eyeballs. Okay, and then I'm going to put some claws. Okay, and then I'm also going to start creating like fur. He's starting to look like an alligator. He is starting to look like an alligator. Ooh, there's his big belly. This I'm going to make a different color. Do you think he needs feet? And he has a pocket. And the pocket's going to be full of blueberries. Okay, you see how it starts coming together? Blueberry. And of course it's okay if yours is not like a bear or whatever. All right? But the point is, now we're at a place where we have line and we have shape. See, so I'm talking about the elements and principles of design. But we also have details. Okay? These are the elements. We have the things that create art. We have patterns. We have things that are starting to create texture, which is the way something feels. Okay? All with a scribble. And now we turn the page and we have all pages of grumpy things. Okay? So I know you might not feel complete with your bear. So if you want to keep adding to the bear with emotions, please do. But if you'd like to turn the page and start creating something different, you're welcome to do that too. We're going to shift and start to invite in different mediums. So I'm going to go ahead and grab markers and I'm going to keep adding to my bear with color now. And I'm going to add some things that really make my bear upset. Or you can turn the page and start adding things that make you upset. Okay? So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and grab my markers. Okay, so here's one of our bears. Okay, this is a younger participant.
It's cold. Yeah.
My friend, will you tell us? Will you tell us where your bear teeth are? Is it a nice bear or is it an angry bear? What mood is your bear in?
Nice bear.
Nice bear?
Yes.
Upset? Maybe. In the water? Maybe. There's so much here.
He's upset.
Why?
Upset.
Why is he upset?
Because he hit himself on a rock.
Oh my! He hit himself on a rock. All right, we're going to riff off of that a little bit. So we hit ourselves on a rock. If we've ever stubbed our toe before, how does that feel and what would that look like in a drawing?
Look, it looks like this. Like,
Okay, here's another bear.
he found the lake
This one we took
and he got a
we
lot
cut it out actually and put tape on it.
He
So
got it on a mess. He got a mess.
mess.
Yeah, because, like, he fell in the lake and he swam up. He caught a fish, but he was covered in mud.
So this could also be an emotion. Okay, so this is colored pencils. And let me know if you're interested in this. I can totally send it to you in the link. But it's the same deal. You could also do this with markers, although the blending might be a little bit more interesting. But these are techniques, okay? And we're going to use varying techniques while we tend to our grumpy things and our emotions page or our emotions of our bears. So we already had a number of these on the previous examples I just gave you. So our younger participant had a lot of this. This is cross-hatching. There's a term for it. Or we had, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the word, but I think there's, we'll just say scuppling. But I know there's, we have stippling, which is the dots. Okay, but all of these have a lot of movement. They're diagonal. And movement really can define an emotion because movement is an emotion it's energy in motion. Okay, it's energy in motion. And so if we're going to show an emotion, typically we have diagonal lines. Diagonal lines. Lines are the elements and the movement, the motion. Oh, I'm sorry. The lines are the elements, and then the principles will be the movement. Okay, real time and space teaching people. Okay, so we're going to kind of use some of these. I'm going to go ahead and use the stippling, so the dots, and I'm going to use the cross-hatching for my emotions. Okay, so if you want to pick one as well, if you're already doing something, we can talk about what you're doing. You can send it to me, and we can kind of go through it together. Okay, so these are just suggestions and just helpful tips from somebody who's practiced and taught. All right, let's go ahead and create. So while I'm creating, I'm going to be using markers. So you should have switched your medium. And I'm going to use stippling and cross-hatching. You've probably already created something, which again, you can post and we can talk about, or you can create with me using specific techniques. Either way, we're creating. And we can label later. Labels aren't that important anyways. All right. So we have our young creator whose bear stubbed his toe, and I'm going to go with that because I really like it. So I'm going to do a lot of red. Notice there's even sound when you are creating a print design, and it's based in movements. Could you guess what I'm doing? Do you think it's stippling? Or do you think it's cross-hatching? Oh my gosh, I remember when I used to do this with all the kids in class. He's tired of being angry. All right, so I put all the stippling down at the feet, okay? And notice I did a lot more over here than I did over here. And this creates value. It creates dark density to light. Okay? So the pain is kind of moving from a heavy sensation to a lighter sensation. And now I'm going to create a creature that came from this pain. So we actually were able to have such great pain that there was a form that came out of it. And we're going to have to confront this form. Okay? And I'm going to move it on to the next page, but these two are going to speak to each other. Let's see. When you think about a grumpy creature, what kind of design do you think about? Do you think about like an edgy design with pointy, like triangular shapes? Or do you think about a really soft, round creature? Which one do you associate with grumpy? And what color do you associate with grumpy? I like to do contrasting things, so I might use like a soft, round creature that sometimes we associate with happiness and calmness, and then put like really scary sharp teeth on it or something. So it's a little bit like you have to sit there and ask questions like, is it angry? Okay, can I see yours? What emotion came out of your bear that got stuck in the water?
Well,
You know, I'm just going to do like one long eyeball.
you can't see.
And it's closed.
Mom, you can't see his emotion. You can't see his emotion.
You can't?
No, because his eyes are covered and his mouth,
I'm not sure about my color
he
choice.
can't really talk or say anything. He's
Okay.
just a newborn,
Oh.
so he can't really show his emotions.
Oh.
And this guy,
Whoa! I love that guy.
he's calm.
We got a calm guy. All right, we got a little calm guy. So this, I love this, right? Of course, I didn't talk about cutting things out, but I also didn't say we couldn't, right? So if you're cutting little creatures out, this is so lovely. And you can put them all around the house or you can use them as emotional guides.
And,
all right, can we...
And at the end of this video, we're going to show you the map of our creatures.
We do have a ginormous map of creatures. I got a little sfumato effect over here on accident. I don't know how I got this. Okay. Ooh, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to turn it into circles because it's bothering me. And I want it to look different. Okay. So by now you should have some kind of creature. We ended up having someone who made something calm instead of grumpy, but it was so beautiful. And I love it. And it is the, you know, calm can sometimes come after grumpy. So they can work together. All right, so I created a foreground, middle ground, and background. You may have just created a creature. Again, this is intuitive. We kind of see where we're at, what we draw, what we like, what we don't like, what it feels like. And then we can be more authentic in the way we design. All right, this is my dude. This is my dude. So he's soft, but he's got just that one grumpy eye. So if you put an eyebrow in a specific way, it really can read as grumpy. But he's kind of soft and sweet. So maybe he goes, you know, he just shows up in the middle of learning, in the middle of feeling frustrated, going from one place to another. Okay, so this is kind of what was created from his pain, and we're learning how to deal with it. Okay, so I'm going to ask that if you have something that, you know, if you have something that doesn't have any principles on it, it doesn't have any value on it, light to dark, it doesn't have any patterns on it, or any color on it, I'm going to ask that you add 2 or 3 principles, 2 or 3 things that would add light to dark, 2 or 3 things that would add a pattern that would show us if we're soft, if we're smooth, if we're bumpy. Okay, we're going to move into creating context. Context is where we are, right? We have the thing, we have the subject, we have content, we have kind of what's in it, we have anger, right? But now where are we, right? I'm in the brain. Brown squishy substance. Brown, gray, pink. Question. And what do we feel like? Okay. So we're moving it through something called a visual analysis. But we're really getting more descriptive. Okay. So now we're going to create with a different medium. We're going to go ahead and move into colored pencils and go further with these details. Colored pencils can be really, really great for adding details. And we'll, hopefully by now we're kind of sparking imagination and we're thinking about something that you actually want to draw. And we can kind of move into this idea of maybe like imaginary friends or creatures. And I'll start with this hedgehog that's inspired by Elise Gravel. For those of you who just want something to riff off of, and for those of you who don't, just start with basic line and shape, and let's move into something more organic that feels like you. Okay, so are you ready, my friends? we're going to go ahead and grab colored pencils, and we're going to work with the hedgehog or work with line and shape in a way that feels comfortable for you. Are you ready? Let's grab our colored pencils. Yeah, hedgehogs. Okay, I'm going to have you can do the hedgehogs right here, okay? All right, I have somebody else taking over for me and drawing the hedgehog, so I can instruct you with this. We're at a new page, okay? We have colored pencils. You already saw my colored pencil bin. You can grab what you have. If you're my students, you probably already have billions of boxes of colored pencils. Pour them all in a box and use them, okay? If you're at home and you don't have colored pencils, try to use something that has a fine point and feels different than a marker, okay? We're thinking about contrast here just to get a feeling of what works for us. All right, so here's the hedgehogs. We're going to start here. Easy peasy, okay? We're going to start with the line. It's a thin line. If you want to work with a thick line, go ahead, okay? I'm just pointing out things that I see as a trained artist. So we have this horizontal line, up and around, out, down. Kind of looks like a hat, right? It could be anything at this point. Riff off of this, or let's start that hedgehog. Ears, little half circles. This one you can tell is on the side of the head, and this one's creating a little depth, being right here in the front. And then we have the two very simple circle eyes with an opaque dot in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna move down here. We're gonna add 4 legs that are composite view, which means it's all in the front. We don't have any space. Typically, if we were gonna do something more complicated, right, we'd have like 2 legs in the front that were long and 2 in the back that were shorter. But we're keeping it simple. And then we have this little opaque dot right here that shows us differentiation on the nose, where something ends and something begins. And then we have these beautiful techniques, which is what I want you to get into, giving us detail, giving us context. To me, this looks like it would hurt if I touched it. Does not look soft, looks very pointy. And also I probably have an association with hedgehogs, like, you know, like getting angry and then like releasing their spheres into your elbow or something. Okay, let's go ahead and create this. Black and white is super beautiful. I like it. If you want some value, add more little lines closer together while others are further apart. Okay, you can make it really simple. Okay, and now I'm going to show you what we've created, and then you can share yours on Tuesday or here, depending on where you are. Okay, check it out. Bam! Tell us about it. Is it pointy?
Yeah.
Is it scratchy?
Yeah.
Is it bumpy?
Yeah.
Is it mean?
Yeah.
Really?
It does this to you. Ow.
Oh, it's a biter. It's a biter. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Do a little blue on it.
A little blue? All right, let's add that blue and add that color. Do we have another one we can share? Okay, here's another one.
Mommy,
we got the legs.
Mommy, and my
See what
is evil.
We got these gorgeous little paws that have all these details in them. These little, what do they call them? Bean paws or something? Bean toes? I don't know.
Bean toes.
We got this long, awesome neck. Oh, so we got legs and we got hands. I didn't mention hands, did I? No. Okay, and do you want these black and white, or what do you think about adding color or detail, or do you feel like you have enough detail with the bean paws?
This is a mad hedgehog.
Ooh, we got anger. All right, my dears. So at this point, I think we should grab a snack. I usually do incorporate snacks about 30 minutes in, as I feel like we need to get movement in. And depending on your age, hopefully the movement happened within the stations and you felt like you could breathe in between drawing. Okay. All right, my thing just fell over. Okay, so I'm going to ask you that you do something more independently now. I feel like we've touched on different shapes, okay? Different lines, thick lines, thin lines, squares, ovals, okay? All these things can be put together to create something, okay? These are more organic in that they can't be named like a square or an oval. but we're still taking basic shapes and putting them together to create something. That is the foundation of all art, okay? It's not complicated. And it's not as uppity as people think it is, right? It's really simple. Then what we're going to do is we want to start to decorate it, okay? And we want to bring in color and emotions and really bring our vision to life. Really allow the viewers to feel what we are trying to say, okay?
Yeah.
So, I would like for you to take the mediums that we used, or the mediums that you chose to use, and create something the next few days, okay? Feel free to share while you're creating. And we can talk about what you've used and how you've used it, and how each person can come together to make something different. So what's cool is I could give all of you right now 2 squares, one small one, one big one, and I could give you an oval, and I could say make something with the principle of repetition and polka dots, okay? And each of you would create something different. So that's the beauty of being an artist, and that's the beauty of having the skill set to be able to draw and share it, okay? Because when we share, other people can feel it, and then they want to share. And that's kind of the beauty of being human. That's what we bring to the table, okay? So I'm going to show you a few things. Get your space ready. Honestly, if I'm being super honest, my space looks like this. Okay, my teacher space is organized because I want my students to feel organized. But my space looks like this. So get your space, okay? And I want you to create, let's say, 4 different things with some kind of emotion using color, using at least 3 different mediums, so mixed media, showing us where we are, showing us some context. Are we outside? Are we inside? Are we in a brain? Okay, and using these details to push forward texture, life, emotions, okay? And I'll put more of this below so you can look and you can find different ways to integrate what I'm saying. I'll give you oral instructions as well as the visual. But the idea is to practice. Practice, 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 practice. Draw, 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 draw. Get a black notebook. Create your own notebook. And just do media sprints all week. Okay? Media sprints all week. Use media in a sprinting kind of way. If it comes, put it down. 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 It's cold. We're all inside together, okay? There's a lot of tension. There's people knocking things over. There's kids asking for food. What does that feel like? Okay? Put it down. Might feel like this guy. Might feel like you're inside a beard of Marvin with all these things. With your dog who's really old and smells bad. My students know exactly who I'm talking about. No offense. This guy, okay? Maybe this guy has been with you. Okay? Anybody have a parakeet? What about that darn garbanzo beans that's been in your cabinet for a really long time that you just look at and you have no idea what a garbanzo bean even is? Maybe he's come to life. Okay? Draw. Draw. Have your materials out. Keep the desk open. Tell the toddlers that they can use it too because you're really cool like that. Or put your important things at the top so they can't touch it, and create all week. Okay? Get a little black notebook. Practice your creatures. Practice emotion. Practice color. Practice feeling. Practice texture. Practice line. Practice shape. And I can give you more specific directions below if you want them. If not, start today. Let's create. I'll see you Tuesday to talk about it. And my friends who are not in my class, you're welcome to share here. All right, guys. See you later.
Horse. This is a flying ship. Well, he's a flying bear.
Let that be inspiration for you.
This is a mad Boomba. Look at my headshot. Our hippopotamus. Artemis plant.